in superstition or some archaic paradigm. The ugly truth are those beautiful lies. Well, I take truth every time. Maybe you believe in heaven or tremble at the thought of hell, holding dear the myths and stories that books of ancient peoples tell. Well, I believe in destiny, that we can make it on our own. I believe in humanity. I'm not afraid of the unknown. Shifting sands surround us, the changing tide, the ebb and flow. Stormy seas may confound us, but given time, the truth will grow. I don't believe we're all born sinners, a wanton cause, a race that's run. 'Cause through the darkness hope glimmers. Someday we'll be a tribe of one. Oh, do you believe in destiny, that we can make it on our own? Do you believe in humanity? Don't be afraid of the unknown. Shifting sands surround us, the changing tide, the ebb and flow. Stormy seas may confound us, but given time, the truth will shifting sands may surround us, the changing tide, the ebb and flow. Stormy seas may confound us, but given time, the truth will grow. Shifting sands may surround us, shifting sands, the changing tide, the ebb and flow. Stormy seas may confound us, shifting sands, given time, the truth will
I think I see the problem here. So anyway, yeah, as I was saying, you all heard that anyway. I won't repeat what I've just said because, it's attention seeking. So yeah, I haven't been able to record bits of the audiobook, the last few bits we need to finish, because I've had a chest infection. So my voice sounds different. The EQ won't match. So I've been quite frustrated with myself and with the world recently, because we're this fucking close to finishing the audiobook, and I get fucked, right up the arse by a nasty bug. But I'm getting better. I'm slowly recovering. And yeah, so this of course the 23rd marks the day of Amygdala's launch. It was officially published on the 13th, but it was launched on the 23rd. Just, that was when I sort of... Little funny fucking story about the publishing of the book. I didn't know when it would actually be live, because the people doing it... I'm doing it next time, by the way. They fucking didn't tell me what was going on. So I was like, when's this fucking thing going to be available to buy? Because I want to plan it for like sometime, in a few days or next week. Oh, it's up now. Oh, well, can you take it down again so I can put it up and actually arrange? Oh, well, we can, but it might take like another 48 hours to fucking 4 days for it to process again. You'd have to process it again. So I was like, oh, shit. So I made a fucking post like that night saying, it's out. So, and then over the weekend I had to fucking scramble to make this video with Lucy, like an interview with Lucy, to promote it more. And it still hit the bestseller lists. So how's that for a slice of fried gold? Not too bad. A year on, we're going strong. 5-star reviews up the wazoo. Thank you very much. It's still sitting at a full 5-star reviews on Amazon. Obviously, a lot of people really like it. I'm obviously very proud of the book. I've got it right here, the big bastard. A class B weapon. See, I always thought, like, if you're gonna kill someone, right, don't carry a knife or a gun, because it's called probable cause. It's like, well, what are the odds of that this guy didn't murder this person? He has a gun or a knife. So if someone comes up to you in the street and they're like, hey, mate, and they're trying to cause some fucking shit with you, right? And you have to fight back. Your gun, your knife, whatever you've got to protect yourself, well, it's a murder weapon then, isn't it? Right? But like, a book. It's like, well, there's plausible deniability there. You can say, well, I wasn't intending to kill anyone with it, obviously. I was reading it. I just happened to have it, and I bludgeoned the cunt to death. And there's also a bit of blood on the book anyway. A little note on the book design, which I'm very proud of. You see, let me tell you something. Quality in anything are things that respect your attention, right? They respect the attention that you give them. So we have the book here. We have Lucy here framed, right? And it all cuts off within this frame, except the blood. Oh, what's that? The blood's seeping through the border. So we follow the blood to the back, where the blurb is, and there's body. So, I think it's a very clever book cover. And of course the amazing artwork by my wife, Carmen. I'm in
the room.
Shut the fuck up, Carmen. This is my stream. I'm only joking. No, she's amazing. Of course, we the book is fully illustrated as well. Links to the book are below, by the way, if you haven't already bought it. It is a bit expensive, I will say that. But to be perfectly honest, it's the size of 3 books, printed on high quality paper, fully illustrated in colour. Right? So, I mean, I'm gonna try and get the 2nd edition out soon. The 2nd edition will be thinner, because we are adjusting the margins ever so slightly. You might not think that makes a difference, but by Christ it does. If you set sail from Britain to America 1 degree off course, you're in Mexico. So if you make one slight adjustment by the end, it really counts. So we're hoping to like thin the book out just a bit to make it like I suppose maybe just a bit cheaper. We'll see. We have got a few new illustrations coming in the second edition, as well as new parts. So even though it will be fewer pages, there are more words because I've added in a few extra pieces to improve the narrative slightly. Some fucker on a bike. So what we're gonna do this stream is we're gonna talk about the book. We're gonna talk about the journey of publishing it, and maybe we'll go through a bit about the second book, because I know people have been very interested in. Oh my god, guys! The first donation of the stream, £1.99 from my dad. Thanks, Dad. That'll go towards the bills this month. What are they doing? Fucking what? 3 days? God, my dad. I just fuck me.
Your dad's never donating again.
Yeah, I'll put that in the little piggy bank. Might put that in my savings. It'll be fucking maybe it'll be £1.5 next year. Thanks, Dad. But yeah, we'll talk about the old man in a bit, because he's gonna be helping with the audiobook. I will get that document sent to you, by the way, with regards to the music. So right, let's think about the order in which we're going to discuss these things. Right, so we'll talk about the book first. Obviously, the book has been out for a year now. It's done very well. We've just about hit 7,000 sales in the first year, which I think is magnificent. So yeah, I'm just gonna light my face a bit more. Wait, actually, can I have just the document open to use my screen as a light while not closing the stream window? I need to get a second. How's that? Oh fuck. Oh well. I guess that'll do. Maybe. Oh, whatever. Okay. So anyway, yeah, the book has been out for a year, and we're just shy of 7,000 sales. We'll hit 7,000 probably in a week, which is excellent, by the way, for a book. The average traditionally published book sells about 3,000 copies in its lifetime, with about 250 in the first year. So a traditional publishing companies consider a book a success if they sell 10,000 copies in their life. We're at 7,000 in the first year. Fucking hell. So, I mean, I'm very happy. I'm exceedingly happy. Fucking... With the audiobook out, it is my hope that the accessibility of that will enable more people to experience it. Because it is a big book, it's a big undertaking, and it is quite expensive. The ebook is cheap, by the way. If you just want to try the book out, you can buy it for $9 on ebook. So it's not like it's an exclusive piece of a private collection. You can read the book for any price you want. What you're paying for with the physical copies is obviously all the fucking high grade paper and the full colour illustrations. I think, over the course of the year, I think the price could be cheaper, but ultimately I accept now that it is just the price that it's at, because it is such a beautiful piece of artwork. The physical thing, not just the writing, of course. The actual physical book is very high quality. It's not going to be like the other books on your shelf. It just isn't. People have mentioned that in the reviews, that the book itself, some of them come damaged, which is a shame, but that's Amazon's fault. That's not my fucking fault. But the book itself,
there haven't been anything like that if you order it.
If you order your book and it comes damaged, you get a replacement. Okay, it's not my fault. You don't need to fucking. I didn't pack the fucking thing. Send a complaint and get a new one. They won't charge you. Just replace it. But the book itself, obviously, is a very high grade piece of work, and we put a lot of effort into it, and I can prove it. So obviously you've got your typical stuff. You've got the illustrations there as well, but on all the blank pages, as you can see, I was not contented to leave them blank. We've got these beautiful pieces of artwork. Every chapter has like these little motifs, which Carmen, which are all hand drawn. Again, it respects your attention. The book really cares about you looking at it.
Someone got a tattoo of the eye in this.
Yes, we've had some tattoos. One such tattoo was of this very eye, which is the symbol in the book that signifies a perspective change mid-chapter, like here. But yeah, let's read through some of these things, because we've got a few here. Draconic Sparkle sent $19.99. What, you couldn't have had the 1 pence? No, I'm only joking. Here's a little something for you. Hope your cold gets better soon. And hi to Carmen too. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. Carmen is obviously, her name is on the book, illustrated by Sam Fenner and Carmen Jones. My part was basically providing the models for reference, all the things that I've done over the years, and Carmen's part was making them look fucking beautiful.
Oh, you can do if you have the original files on your computer.
I'll show some later, yeah. The before and after. Oh my god! And we've got another £1.99 from Rob Fenner.
Yo.
My father. What's that, almost £4 now? God, he's digging deep tonight. Anyway, sorry hurts. $1.99. This is all I have, but wanted to you to have it. Thank you very much. And of course, that's Lee. Hi Lee, with £1. Thank you, Lee. Really appreciate that, Lee. I'll put that towards all super chat things. They all go towards rendering. I pay a monthly bill to Render Street so I can get all my animations rendered for you for your enjoyment. Any YouTube ad revenue, anything from Patreon, anything like that, it goes straight to the rendering, so I don't need to worry about that. If the rendering bills could all just be paid passively without me having to think about them, then the content flow is uninterrupted. What did my phone just tell me? I bet it's bad news. King Charles shows some of his thousands of cards of support, including a favourite featuring a cartoon dog. Thanks, BBC News. Doing the country proud. $5 from Jack of Clubs 1, thank you very much. And $5 from these fucking names. I apologise. OK Tapper or Octapper. Svartvanten. My copy actually came with the last page of the final chapter and the epilogue at the front of the book. I got spoiled on the ending. Well, that's a printing error, and you should complain about that. That's not supposed to happen. But yeah, I've had books arrive like that. It's basically they're anomalies. It's not down. I'm not involved in the printing process, the manufacturing, the sending. That's whoever you buy it from. Waterstones, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, wherever the fuck you're buying the book from. Whoever's manufacturing it somewhere along the product, it's their job to quality check and make sure that there are no anomalies and to send it undamaged. If you get a damaged copy of the book, just return it and ask for a fresh one. You have it's called consumer rights. So anyway, yeah, book sales going fantastically. I'm very happy with the way it's all building up. Highly lucrative first year for a book of this size, of this nature. Considering how niche it is as well, I was a bit worried. I'll be honest, I had some major concerns about the book and its ability to succeed because of how strange the world is. I don't know, like, a lot of books, they sort of follow a certain pattern of rules. If you read a sci-fi, you're going to get space lasers and time travels and captains on the bridge and alien wars and planetary conflicts and stuff of that nature. If you read fantasy, you're going to get a Dark Lord or the Darkness or an army and some power or a farm boy who is a chosen one. And, you know, certain things adhere to certain tropes. You know, a trope that I noticed recently, I was playing the Horizon Forbidden West, which I bought 2 years ago but didn't play because Elden Ring came out. And there's a little trope I noticed where, like, you'll have a protagonist saying, "Oh, I need to get through here. I need to do this," and you'll have the leader of the tribe or group going, "We're gonna fucking kill you. You fucking fucked up, boy. You're gonna fucking die now." And then you'll always have the wait, and then they part like the Red Sea, and this ancient one comes forward and he's like, "I will hear them speak." Have you noticed that? It happens a lot. And it's just, I think, where the fuck do these things come from? But, like, it's subconscious. Like, it's almost like Lego now, storytelling, where you just put pieces together and it's like... That's why I was a bit worried about Amygdala, because those of you who have read it will already know that it is not beholden to certain storytelling conventions. It is very comfortable leaving the mystery with you and allowing you to mull that round in your own brain. It allows you to think. So while there are characters who are at odds, who are antagonistic towards one another, there is no hero or villain or protagonist or antagonist really. Ultimately, you are left to decide. You are given these conversations and these conflicts, and sure, there are winners and losers, as there are in life. But just because they win, that's not an endorsement from the book. It's just how shit happens. And I've really enjoyed the reaction to the book. I've been honoured by the reaction of the book because people are smart. People are fucking clever. If you allow them to be. If you give someone a book that respects their intelligence and lets them think, they will do that. But the trouble with a lot of fiction these days is it doesn't. It's too comfortable restraining you and telling you what to think. Have you ever had it where you're watching a film or reading a book or playing a game and a character's speaking and you can tell it's the writer sweating, going, because that happened to them? The thing about men is, it's just like, shut up, This isn't, the characters, where's the character? It's gone. That's why Borderlands 3 failed. Shut the fuck up.
Are you so excited for the Borderlands?
I'm not excited for the Borderlands film because it's going to be the same shit. I don't care.
I was mouthpiece.
Because they're going off Borderlands 3, Carmen.
Why isn't Handsome Jack there?
Because they're silly, Carmen. All right.
Why is Tannis old? Why is Lilith old?
We got another $5 from OK Tapper. I apologize. I'm going to call you OK Tapper because that's... Oh, hang on a minute. It's supposed to be a sort of Icelandic-inspired version of Octavia Blackwater. Okay. Thank you for telling me that. I'll go with Octavia, if that's okay. I have no idea how to pronounce that, although I would very much like to know. I might look that up later. You know what? I'm actually going to Norway sometime in the next year or so, because like a lot of the second book, I want to tap. I like writing about what I know, what I've experienced. So some aspects of the outsides of this city, the wider world, I want to sort of base on Icelandic, Norwegian sort of, cultures. Stefani Ravencroft, that's a cool fucking name. A book so good, I got it in hardback and Kindle. I was wondering if you could explain Kivik reproduction. Is it always fatal? Well, okay. I'll do the safe for work version, even though it's not safe for work in the book itself. I believe in let's see. I don't believe in juvenility when it comes to discussing things of that nature. Those of you who have read the book will already know that there are some tough scenes in there, but I think they are handled very appropriately and in a more clinical, scientific manner, rather than, a sort of... They don't take on an effect of, one way or the other. when it comes to the reproduction of these animals, it's based on reproduction of several different types of animals on Earth. The whole Kivik species is a parody of the animal kingdom, of human beings and their behaviors, of animals and theirs. And so it's similar to, it's like how you will have a tarantula hawk that will take a tarantula and use that as a host for their young. A very parasitic, macabre cycle. And it's not the only one. There are some that inject the egg into the brain of other insects, and they eat their way out. There are types of fungi that create zombie insects and completely take over. That there are one criticism of the book that I don't take seriously is, well, it's kind of fucked up in some places, and that makes it very inappropriate. Yeah, watch a fucking nature documentary. Touch grass. I didn't come up with this stuff. I'm just writing about it. Do you want to know why? Because I'm fucking sick to death of going to watch films like Avatar, and they show you this paradise of nature that is just all beautiful Gaia, and the evil humans who destroy it all. Well, here's the thing. Nature will fuck you up, son. And guess what? We're nature. We're fucking horrible. Have you seen the shit we've done to each other? Would you like me to just, like, show you a fraction of the thing? Have you heard of Vlad the Impaler? Do you know the things that we will do when there are no laws holding us back? We are animals. We are vicious bastards, right? We're filthy fucking creatures. Right, that's how it is. You don't believe me? Watch the news. Fucking pay attention to the world. What do you think this is? Don't be so naive. And so, yes, I put that in my book. And I put it in a book in a way that is respectful to the narrative, because that's what the book is about. It's literally about that nature and how it works with civilization and civility. And the ability to communicate on a higher level, you know? So, come on. You would fucking die if you read Stephen King. James Cook. Audiobook when? We're almost finished. I've been sick. I've had a chest infection. I can't record when my voice is like this. It just sounds different. So... soon, within the next 2 months, we're so close, we're so fucking close. Sony Locks Larson, $1.99, thank you very much. And Octavia, touch fucking grass, open a portal. One or the other, precisely. Anyway, so that's that fucking mini rant over. But yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff in the book. But here's the thing. The book is about that. It's about those fucked up inclinations that we have as animals. You know? We are violent. We are a dominating force. We are sadistic. And anyone who tells you that they're not in some way is dangerous. Because they're not aware of the fangs they possess. And if someone isn't aware of the fact that they have fangs and claws and these inclinations, then guess what they're not doing? Controlling them. Because they're peaceful, right? Oh, I would never hurt a fly. Love and peace and I would never do anything. Well then, get away from me. Get the fuck away from me. I'm much more comfortable with the wolves. With the people who know what they are and temper themselves. They're safer people. Right? They're in control of their animal instincts. Whereas somebody who thinks they're just a delicate little flower, they're the most fucked up people you'll ever meet. Because they're not even aware of the fact that they have the potential to be monsters. And in order to control yourself, you need to understand that you have that potential. We all do. And that, again, is what the book is about. So, let's have a look here. Let's scroll through here. Plutalian, I think. $20.
I love Italian. I want to draw their bird character.
Carmen wants to draw your bird character. Why is that not working? There we go. Very proud of you guys for how much you've accomplished. I've been a fan of your work for a long time. Your work inspired me to become a 3D artist myself. Can't wait to see more from you. Also, hi, Carmen. There you go. Well, I'm glad that you've taken up 3D artwork. It's definitely fun. I started when I was about 16. Fuck, that was like 10 years ago. Yeah, I started the CGI thing when I was about 16, but I've been animating for longer because I did stop motion before then. So, yeah. It's been a long and interesting journey. So, the second book, right? Let's talk a bit about that. Oh, before I move on to the second book, the second edition of Amygdala is going to be coming out sometime next month. And it will feature new illustrations and new chapter parts. It will also have an adjusted format. The margins will be slightly more generous because I don't think they're generous enough here. I think they're a bit too thick. So the book should be thinner by about I don't know, maybe 20%, give or take. But it will have more content in it, which means when you open your copy of Amygdala, if you have one at home, you will see this. You will see first edition right there. These will no longer be produced after next month. So if you're watching the stream, you have a time limit now. If you want to own the first edition of Amygdala, which will never be manufactured again, now is your only chance. Okay? You're gonna want it in 10 years. Trust me. I have big plans for the series. So, you know, if you think it's something that you want on your shelf as a conversation piece, get the first edition, right? We're going to be making adjustments to the cover and the back because I think that's fun.
It won't be anything major.
Nothing major, just a few little tweaks just to give a little nod to the fact that it's the second edition. And yeah, so if you want the first edition of Amygdala, you have 1 month, more or less, to get it. Because after that, it will be the second edition and then the third edition, and you know how it goes from there. Okay? So, make sure you own one. Be one of the August few. Mech us with £5. No one is ever nice or kind. They're always evil behind the eyes of the innocent. There's always evil behind the eyes of the innocent. Also, a message from Dalton. Muppet. Thank you very much. That's Dalton's voice actor, everyone. We got to have him on one of our gaming streams, which we're going to do more of. But yeah. Yes, and Cole. So, yeah, I mean, people are fucked up in all sorts of ways. The difference is, I don't trust the people that don't admit it. That's the thing. I mean, fuck me, there's whole institutions and ideologies based around the suppression of truth, right? Everybody has a sort of shadow self, the real them that sort of exists under your skin. And in order to be accepted into the culture, this real person inside you is hidden. And most people, unfortunately, are born, live, and die in the dark. They never see the sun as who they are, because they're always hiding. They're always too afraid to admit what they are and what they think and what they feel. Because, you know, being included, being in a group, being under a certain umbrella, marching in an army is more important to them than being who they are. And if I can do one thing before I die, it's to fucking annihilate that philosophy. Octavia, thank you very much. I will likely put mine in a safe or something. Yeah, I would. Mine's in a glass cabinet. Are you going to sell any signed editions? I might do a book signing at some point, if anyone shows up, right?
I'll show up.
Thanks, Carmen. But the thing is, I know that most of my audience is in America, and I'm in the UK. I don't know how many people would show up. I just don't think many people would bother.
To be fair, when I went to go get biometrics done, there was one guy heading literally into Liverpool to go get your book.
Oh yeah, that is true. We ran into someone in Liverpool who was a fan, and another person. I have met people who really like my stuff, and you know, I suppose I'm just afraid of like showing up, and it's a bit embarrassing, you know. But I'll see, you know, I'll see how it goes. But yeah, I don't know. I'd need the right venue. I'd need a place to do it. I don't want to be a nuisance to anyone, and I don't want to be presumptuous. At the end of the day, I am not the point. My work is the point. So as far as I'm concerned, my signature's worthless, you know, because you've got the book, you've got the language, you've got all the things written there. My job there, I've done my bit. But if you want something of that nature, I'll try and arrange something at some point. Stefani Ravencroft is a bookshop deputy manager. Well, it would depend on what bookshop and where it is, but yeah, sure. I mean, you know, we'd have to see, yeah. Oh, by the way, there's a Discord link in the description of this stream. So there's links to the book below, by the way. If you want to get the ebook and start reading now, do it. Or if you want to be one of the lucky few to have the first edition, links in description. Go and get a copy. The reviews are all there for you to read. Don't worry, I'm not Shadowversity, and I don't I don't mold or cope over whatever people say. But I will just point out that mine are 5 stars, and you can read them all, positive and negative, at your discretion. And I really hope you choose to get the book, because I do think it is a piece of fiction the like of which you have never read. I cannot guarantee that you will like it, because people are different, obviously.
Some people don't like political things.
Some people don't like political things, but then don't read them. But yeah, if you're of a creative mind, then give it a go. And if you like ideas, here's the thing, I can almost guarantee this. If you are intellectually curious, if you like ideas and you're not afraid of ideas, and if you're a bit weird and creative, which I think a lot of people are, but they might hide it, get the book. Trust me, get the book. You will feel at home in this world. And that's a consistent thing that I've seen in the reviews, that it speaks to an intrinsic truth. Which it does, you know? It's not called Amygdala for nothing. So yeah, links in the description. There is a link to the Discord. Our Discord, we host competitions, we have wacky events, There's plenty of discussions, great community, great artwork. I'm in there all the fucking time. So if you want to get in touch with me, that's where to do it. Literally, join the Discord. You know, you can fucking message me on Discord. You can do whatever. I can't guarantee that I will get to you straight away. And you might slip through the gaps. I apologize, but that's the best way to do it. It's a great place.
Remember to verify.
Yes, just remember to verify and read the rules. Okay, that's important. The mods that I have there are very, they're very, what's the word? Fuck me, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Meticulous. Very good at what they do. There is no drama in the server whatsoever. We've never had a situation in all the years of running the Discord. There has never been a situation.
I think we've only banned like 2 people in like the past 2 years.
Well, there you go. From Carmen herself, I think we've only banned 2 people in the past 2 years. So it's a really great place, really open-minded. The one thing I will say this for my community, it is the least toxic community I have ever seen. Intellectually open, curious, honest, and if you want to have a discussion about anything, there are the appropriate channels. We have a scientific channel, a philosophy channel, we have book discussion channels, we have a fucking all sorts of places to talk about things. Go and join the Discord, it's great. The second link below the book links is Patreon. That is where I post exclusive content behind the scenes, and that is where you go if you are interested in how I make my videos. It's $5 a month, flat thing, not going to change, $5 a month, none of that tier cringe. And whenever I upload a video, I will do a breakdown of how I made that video, and usually they're 20 minutes to half an hour long, as well as artwork and behind the scenes stuff as well. I haven't been able to do the Bernadette breakdown yet because my voice has been fucked the past month.
Upload the Harlow.
I will be uploading a video there soon of the illustration process for Harlow. Where is Harlow? Okay, here she is. This on the right hand side here is the new Harlow illustration for the 2nd edition, showing her gala dress. Going up on the Patreon tomorrow will be the process of how this illustration was made. You may notice a black bar across Harlow's chest. That's because she doesn't wear clothes in the conventional way.
Well done.
So if you want to see Harlow's tits, then that's another reason to subscribe to the Patreon, or dare I say, buy the book, because there's plenty of that material. Nudity, by the way, is nothing inappropriate in my eyes when it comes to fiction, because if you go to Greece or you look at ancient mythologies, guess what they have? Tits. It's just part of the fun of mythology. Take a look at a mermaid or the Sphinx, right? You fucking Puritans. So yeah, there are illustrations in this book with a bit of tit. So, you know, if you, that's what floats your boat. Anyway, gotta read through some of these things. Shade at Shad from Octavia. Look, okay, I like Shad. I don't agree with hardly anything he says, but I think as a guy, he's very open to... He opens himself up in a way that I have never seen. He bares his chest to a sky dark, full of arrows. He's like Leonidas, only not really. You've got to respect the man for being so immovable on his positions. He is stubborn, and I think if you're genuinely interested in, you know, whether or not a weird backwards anime sword would work in real life, or what's the best zombie weapon to use, go and watch his videos.
He just needs to stay out of art discussion.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what he's going on about there. Anyway, Ruby Eye. Was Freda a mindless beast? Freda test when? Freda was Freda in the prologue. You will see. Is all I can say. They refer to her as a mindless beast. They consider her to be an object of chaos, a symbol of the anti-mind. But Freda was Kivik like them all and possessed an intellect not so dissimilar to them, because she is of the same breed. So she was not mindless. And she did speak as well. It's just that when she spoke, it would sound like, I don't know, like fucking Jormungandr, because she's so fucking massive. I will do some prologue animations and show Freda, because I really think that the terror of Freda is something that is it's carried through the book. You can really feel it. The rogue Fiero, $20. I'd pay top dollar for a set of character bookmarks with random fun facts on the back of each. Well, it just so happens that me and Carmen are discussing a line of bookmarks that will be little plushies of the characters at the top with their tails or their feet hanging out the bottom, and they'll have a long body. So if you want like Lucy sort of popping out your book, you'll have like a little plushy Lucy and her tail there, and they will be measured for the book. So we are going to be doing bookmarks.
Is the bookmark dimensions going to be for the first book or the second, like the first edition or the second edition?
Same, they're going to have the same top to bottom dimensions.
Oh, okay.
The only thing that's going to change is the thickness. Mickey 12. Have I missed any? No. Mickey 12 with $5. Been a fan of your work for a while now. Love the book. Excited for future projects. Thank you very much. We'll talk about the second book in just a bit here. Erica, tell them about the Lorb, Sam. You can't advertise the Discord without mentioning the Lorb. Well, ladies and gentlemen, very well.
Can I bring...
What? Where's the... So, in the Discord, there is a little fun concept that was created by my friend Beth, and it is Lucy Lacemaker, rendered perfectly round, like a sphere. Have I got an image of the Lorb? There are many. Here we go. There she is. She is perfectly round. A perfectly round Lorb. This has led to the creation of the Orb chat, where spherical versions of the characters are made regularly, and people tell the most bizarre and beautiful stories with these Orb versions of the characters.
I recommend just going to the orb chat, scrolling up a bit. Just take the snipping tool.
Yeah. So, like, I remember at Christmas there was a telling of the Grinch with the orbs. I think Winifred was the Grinch. Or as she's known, the Warb, because you've got to have like the names of like Basil and Teaser, Borb and Torb.
Those are stupid. It should be Bazorb, Tizorb.
or Celiorb.
Call it cool. You're dumb.
You know.
Stupid.
So there's Freydorb. So there's a lot of fun there. Mechas, join the Discord, and Dalton can say the C word a fefew times. That's perfect. That's an incentive right there, ladies and gentlemen. I can't. YouTube's cutting off half this name, and no matter how much I expand the window, I can't fucking read it. Okay. Okay, I'll just have to go with the first name. Mariko, I think. Would you make a Spanish version of the book.
Get Erica to
I would buy one for sure. At some point, yes, I would like to do translations. Octavia again, Warb is the best. Thank you. But yeah, I would very much like to do translations of the book at some point. I think it will take a little bit of time for the book to hit the mainstream. My main concern is bringing the book out and having it well received. I have done that. The book sales have been magnificent. The reviews have been magnificent. And so now all I really need to do is keep cracking on the series. The Colour of Magic by Terry Pratchett didn't become successful until a few books in. Lord of the Rings, I think, took 10 years to, build up. Stuff like this takes time, because what you need to understand with books is that they are on a different scale. They take longer to read, longer to process, longer to spread, longer to manifest in the public consciousness. But I really wanted to write a book for that reason, because I do believe that writing a book is the true test of a writer, because you can't then lean on celebrity, you can't lean on special effects or music or animation. You're purely limited by your language and your ability to move people with your words, which is why I wanted to write a book. This is the best thing I've done in my life so far, of course. None of my animations come close to what I am holding in my hand right now. Pleb, which is a fantastic name, donated $1. £1. That's like $5.
I'll get you.
So, yeah. Are you a fan of Lovecraft? Hit and miss. I think most people would agree. Hit and miss. I think some of Lovecraft's stories are wonderful, and I think others are a bit thin. Good use of language, and then there's George R.R. Martin. I quite like George Martin's writing style. I think his work ethic is abysmal. I think some decisions in his books are bizarre. I think having Tyrion Lannister do a quadruple backflip as his introduction was the most strange experience I've had in fiction.
Wait, was that real?
Yes. Tyrion Lannister, for those of you who don't know, in the book...
Is that in the first book?
Yes, Tyrion Lannister in the book version of Game of Thrones does a backflip off a roof before Jon Snow. Right? Strange decisions. So, yeah.
Why didn't you make Lucy do a quadruple?
Well, yeah, again, so it's like, But I do overall quite enjoy his writing style. When I was writing Amygdala, one of the things was, there's so many characters in the book. I was like, yes, but it's a very long book. But guess, I think, what is it? How many characters are introduced in Game of Thrones first chapter? Isn't it like fucking 12? Like 12 characters, named characters, are introduced in chapter 1 of Game of Thrones. So I was not intimidated in the least at the prospect of introducing, a lot of characters throughout the story. It's just that I paced them a bit better, I think. Draconic Sparkle. My Lucy plush remains one of my favourite things. She freaks out every single person I show her, and I love it. That's exactly why we need to do another Lucy plush.
You want to show them the proto?
Oh, Carmen, could you do me a massive favour right now?
Get the thing by Sagita.
Yes, but also, there is a drink in the... There is a drink in the fridge, right?
Yeah.
It is blue. could you retrieve the ergo, the magic, so I may become an evolved god like Simon Marnus? Does anyone know what I'm talking about here? This is true evolution.
Do you want a cup of tea?
I'll have a cup of tea as well, thank you, Carmen. Come and say hello. This is the illustrator of my book. She is also the creator of Thalius and Francium.
Hello.
She is so soft, and I don't understand. Because you should sell this to the military, because it doesn't make any sense. Does anyone know what I'm talking about, by the way?
I'll bring you your tea.
People think I'm going crazy. Come on. We've got one person that got it, I think. Does anyone know what that reference was? Fuck. Right. Well. Anyway. You don't know who Simon Marnus is? Leader of the alchemists? You know, guys? Fuck. Well, I don't understand. He has like a giant... He has a giant hat. Right? That grew with him. Right? You know? He becomes God. We're getting it. We're getting some people. UB with £5. Is there anything about humanity which would disturb the Kivawakians? I feel that giving control of life and its direction to AI would horrify them. There are many things that the Kivik animals would find rather disturbing about humanity. It is our proclivity to surrender our base functions to technological and social convenience. The idea of a phone to them would be abysmal, because they would not understand why you would even want that. Why wouldn't you want to speak to someone and be there with them and, you know, have a conversation? Why wouldn't you want to travel across the city and meet them? Why wouldn't you want to share in these real experiences with this other organism? It would confound them. The idea of a phone would baffle them. Like, people think that, oh well, they just haven't invented that yet in the Kiviwak. That's not it. They literally have no desire to. It's like, it's stupid to them. The ideas like that are stupid to them, because the idea of writing letters, of wordcraft, of dialogue, of shared experiences is so intrinsic and valuable to their culture that they would just, you know, they would laugh at the prospect of Twitter. So, you know, there's a lot of things. Monty with $20, take my money. Thank you, Monty. Thank you very much. But yeah, it was Lies of P I was referencing before. Simon Marnus. Behold your God, who will be born now. So yeah. Basically, the Kivawakians are the sort of the pitch that I pitched to myself is, what if Mother Nature was a politician? What if the forces of nature were her MPs? You know? what would their government look like? What would the government of nature look like? You know? What would the culture of natural order look like? Inevitably, you would have some innovation, industrial elements. But how would those manifest? You know? Sean with $20. What year of industrial technology do you think they would be closest to? I am trying to make a metalworking Kiva character, and I want to know what welding machine methods they might use. I would say they would be around... It's hard to say. It's actually really difficult to say, because they're from... There isn't one period... Thank you, Carmen. There isn't one period that I would say that they just reflect, if that makes sense. Like, they have... For example, they have... steamboats. And, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to pause this here. We have here...
A little hat.
Behold. Now this was this is a custom Lucy plushie made by Sagita Plushies. Right? Very high end. You know, so it's basically it's sort of like a Victorian doll. Very eerie, very beautifully made. You know, you can buy them from Sagita Plushies. They are expensive though. They are, like 200, 300. So, they are very expensive. But yeah. Just I wanted to show her to you because she is beautiful. my little Lucy, and you can sit up there just in the background watching over the stream. So yeah, they have steamboats and they have printing machines. They have, clockwork, song towers, and they also have quantum fucking travel and Mandosian doors that can bend space-time. The thing that's really interesting to me about that is that it alludes to the fact that this species has cracked some of the ultimate mysteries that we are still reckoning with, and yet they choose to live by certain standards, even though they could access these technologies that we have to a far greater extent. They choose not to, through restraint and culture. You know what I mean? It's almost like they're not... I suppose they are fearful of some technologies, and I think rightly so. In the same way that I think a lot of people right now are fearful of some technologies. I don't think technology is good by virtue of it being technology. That's a fallacy, Oh, well, it's technological progress, so it's good. Well, no, it isn't. It depends, It depends on what form it takes, who's in control of it, who isn't in control of it, You could fuck up a lot of things with this. They choose to engage with their world. They choose to work and do things and engage with each other on a personal level, even though the option to them is open. It's not that they can't develop this technology. It's that they don't want to. They have no desire. We, in the same way that we could do a lot of things, but we choose not to. It's the power of their culture. That's what I would put it down to. Their culture is infinitely stronger than their technology, if that makes sense. It overrides their technology, which is how I wish we were. I fucking wish humans had a culture at least as strong as their technology, but we don't. Our technology dominates our culture. Our culture is a slave to our technology. That's why we suck. That's why we're shit. We're weak. We're weak-willed, weak-minded. We are easily led by the next toy. We are not strong enough to say, well, actually, I don't need that. You know?
See if I can adjust her. She looks sad.
No, she's just chilling. No,
She's waving.
Yeah.
Because Erica sent like a picture of her and it's just like, oh, why she looks so depressed.
Monty, the last of my savings, Fenner. I made my own Lucy Yippee too. Thank you, Monty. Monty's Monty. Thank you very much, Monty. Mage Burger, $2. So the Kivawakians are like the Chozo in Metroid. I have no idea what they are. Maybe. HAL 9000, anyone? I mean, again, yeah.
Her arm up like that, it was giving the wrong signal. I realized real quick, wait, maybe you guys shouldn't have her be saluting like that.
Christ. Well, now you've made it obvious, Carmen. Right. So, someone said, I thought the Lucy plush was moving on its own. It was just Carmen. But yeah, this is it. This is the ergo. Hang on a minute. Here it is. The blue juice of undiscernible origin. You know? This is true evolution. Why be humble? I am evolved. A better man. Does anyone know who that is? Does anyone know which legendary philosopher said that? No. But yeah. Does anyone know who said that? I'm waiting. Does anyone know who I'm quoting? You know? Welcome to my ring! Come on. Come on! No idea? You fucking uncultured swines. Really?
Unbelievable.
None of them?
I don't know either.
Seriously? Okay. Victor. His name is Victor. Yeah? Huh? Unbelievable. Alright, anyway. So, what the fuck was I talking about? Alright. So. Thank you. Lies of P. I've been referring to Lies of P.
I still need to continue playing that.
Yes, you do, Carmen. Right? I was quoting Simon Manus earlier. You know, the guy. And then I was quoting Victor just now. Victor, who is a better man. So come on. Get with the fucking program. Anyway. So, what I'll probably do now is talk about the second book. But first of all, let me just ask. Of the people watching right now, say yes if you've read the first book, and say no if you haven't. Right? Right?
I've read your book.
I know you have, Carmen. I'm well aware of that, Carmen. I know. I'm wondering if they have. Yes. Not entirely. No. Yes. No. Yes. Okay, so I think the yeses. Right. So everybody who just said no, fuck you. Links in the description. Ebook is available for $9. $9. Hardback and paperback. If you want to own the first edition, then get it. But I am now going to talk about the second book. But I will be courteous, and I will not spoil the events of the first book. So I was thinking about maybe reading some non-spoilery extracts for you here. Would any of you be interested in that? I can't. So I can't read much. In the Discord, if you've read the book, there is a link to a live stream I did last year where I read the first 2 chapters of the second book for those people who have read the first, and you need to get the amygdalite roll, which is,
You can get the amygdalite roll if you haven't read the book, but don't get upset if you get spoiled.
Yes, the amygdalite roll gives you access to book 2 channels with the updates. But I warn you, if you haven't read the first book, don't get the amygdalite roll. Obviously, the first 2 chapters of the second book refer to the end of the first, and you will be spoiled. So read the first book first. By the way, before I go into the second book, a few extracts. Those of you watching now, how many of you are going to get the audiobook? Yeah? Because that will be out within 2 months. It was supposed to come out next month, but this month has been a complete wash. Why name the book Amygdala? Well, amygdala is a part of the brain that assigns emotional responses to situations. It is associated with survival and fear, right? It is like a portal to the inner animal. And the book is about the conflict between animals and their culture, their society, their civilization. So that's why it's called Amygdala. The second book is called Wanderlust. So, spelt with an O, Wanderlust. And you can expect that in 2025, late 2025, if I keep up with my schedule. So good, nice to see that you'll all be buying the audiobook. I would recommend the audiobook even if you've read the book in general, because it is a whole other experience having it read to you, and there will be little musical motifs here and there. Not obnoxious, this isn't the audio drama, but there will be bits of music for you to enjoy. I think you'll really like it. Right.
The audio drama will be after the book series is complete.
Yes, the full audio drama will be, of all 6 books, will be after all 6 books have been completed. That's just the smart move, because if I did the Amygdala audio drama right now, I would never finish the second book. And also, if I'm going to use voice actors, like, it's going to take me like 10 years to finish this series. I don't know who's going to be alive in 10 years.
I mean, unfortunately.
I mean, it's true. I mean, I don't know how people's voices are going to change, how people's situations and circumstances are going to change. I can't contractually bind someone to a project for 10 years. So I'm going to finish the 6 books in this series, and then we're going to do all 6 audio dramas together at once and release them every 6 months. So I'll, give me something to do while I think of the next series. So this audiobook is me narrating. Audio drama means voice acting, it means sound effects, it means fully scored, full music. The whole, bing bang bosh, the whole orchestra. So yeah, the August View is a 6-book series which I have already planned. I know how it ends. I know what's going to happen in all the books, more or less. The second book has been completely planned out. The second book plan is like 67 pages long, and I am I'm on chapter 5 now of the second book, so I'm making good progress. I haven't had my tonsils removed. I've just been ill. I haven't been able to record any more of the audiobook because my voice sounds different. I've been coughing as right, so I'm gonna read you some stuff from the second book, but what I would like you guys to do is give me a character, and I will read you a little extract of that character in the second book to give you a flavour of
the first book or
the second book.
Oh, okay.
And I will give you a flavour of where they might be in the second book. So, come on. Let's see a character. Excuse me. Let's see. We got Winifred, Celia, Ludwig, please. Lucy Lacebaker, Sabra Harlow, Lockett, Celia, Lockett, Mandas, Celia. Okay, we've got a few Celias. Lockett. I'll see about Lockett. I'm not. Let me just take a look here, because
Any character way is too spoilery.
No, wait, no, because like Lockett actually kind of she might be fine. So I think we got like, let's take a look here. Sean with 20 said Greta. Well, we'll have to do Greta then, because that's a donation. Let us take a look here. Okay. Let me see here. I'm just going to try and find a part of... I think Lockett, the only part that I've written for Lockett so far is a discussion of what happens in the first book, so I don't think Lockett will... I don't have a Lockett scene at the moment. I'm sorry. Quinn. We've got a few Quinns. I can do Quinn. I can do Quinn and Felicity.
Well, they're both might as well be the same.
Let's see here. I can also do Winifred, I think. Yeah, okay. We can go through a few of these. So,
If you join the Discord, you can see the first 2 chapters of the second book.
Oh, I've already told them that.
Oh, did you?
You fool.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. Okay. So, how about I do a little bit of Quinn and Felicity? Would we all be agreeable to that? Unfortunately, Nathaniel has not had a scene yet. Actually, has he? Yes, he has. I can do a bit of Nathaniel. So, we'll start off with some Quinn and Felicity, and we'll go through like a few, and I'll give you guys a flavour of the second book. Is that fine? Are we all okay for that? Okay? Alright. So. How about we have... Okay. This might be a tantalizing section. I'll read 2 little bits. Actually, no. Well, I'll play it by ear. In the darkness of her snug little room, time was no object. She was unsure of when she was roused, but aspects of the dream came with her. Felicity thought she heard the soft crackling of fire, the low chanting of woodland folk. At first all was calm. Acceptance washed over her. She knew what she was, and while the mark upon her neck still ached and burned, it was a gift. But then the voices faded, and the veins of mossy green crept across... Tweak that. Crept across the... I just put my finger in my tea. Sorry. And the veins of mossy green crept across the ceiling. She studied the light, watching as it slowly spread. Something was amiss. The roof was not twine and black wood. It was ornate and hewn from stone. She saw white flowers, swirls and patterns sprawling above her head. Felicity darted upright, heart pounding, and flashed her eyes to the details of the room. No longer could she hear the voices, the fire, the wind in the trees. "Hello," she called out, packing herself into the corner like an animal, shielding herself with delicate wings. "Hello!" Above her head came the sound of footsteps. Then a soft, familiar voice spoke through the walls. "Felicity? You okay?" It was a voice she knew, and the moment it spoke, the confusion dissipated. In a flash, her long journey north returned to her mind, her meeting of Dalton, Celia, and Bartholomew's, and of course the tutelage of Quinn. Felicity breathed deep, relaxing. I'll cut that there, and then I'll do another little bit with them. Let's have a bit from Salazar. We got a little glimpse of Salazar in the first book, but the second book he has a bit more.
You want to share your art of Salazar?
No, I don't. Nay.
Why not?
Nay. Alright. The maps sprawled Make this a bit bigger. There we go. The maps sprawled unending, painting the table with a million lines, dots, and symbols. Before Felicity was the world in 2 dimensions, flattened and cut. But even this, she knew, was a mere slice of the infinite Kivawak. Even so, the maps were impressive to her, for all were exact. Before her very eyes were the paths she had taken, the secret ways. And yet the animals before her had solved it, reducing her magnificent journey to a simple red trail on the paper. It made her feel small, as if she sat among the gods themselves. Before her was voice Salazar, and 2 of his watchers at either side. With curious metal instruments they marked the map with nauseating detail. "Before you came to the valley, you passed through the riverlands, yes?" Salazar said, his sharp avian beak clacking with every word. "Yes," said Felicity, glancing to her right to Quinn. Salazar scratched his leathery throat. "And how long were you there, exactly?" Her warm lavender eyes met his cold features. "A while. I was lost." The Riverlands are dangerous. You are lucky." He eyed the maps, caressing the fine paper with razor talons. "And after that you came to the flatlands, then the valley." "Yes. It was a straight run." "And are you ready to tell us what brought you north? You say you ran. From what?" Felicity shrank in her chair. The walls of the Brownian room were closing in around her. "Is that important?" "It is to the expedition," answered Salazar. "But not to this meeting," Quinn put in, sensing the girl's distress. Salazar hummed in his musing, flicking through layers of the map. Are we done?" said Felicity, finding her voice. "No," said Salazar with a snap of an iron beak. "When you crossed the flatlands, tell me, what did you see?" "Nothing. I mean..." "Nothing to the west? No red on the horizon?" At that the girl hung her head. "There is always red to the west. Even south we have our law. But those are just stories. I've never seen those lands." "And yet," he pointed to lines on the map, "on your way out of Blackenrend you ventured close to the western border. Yet you could have come north directly." "I couldn't," she answered. "The valley is hedged by Fol, the mountains, and to the east is Kos, the ocean. I took the only path I could." "According to our maps, there is a land bridge you might have taken." Felicity looked to where he was pointing, her brow creased. "There was no land bridge." Salazar scoffed. "You mean you didn't see it?" "Have you seen it?" "I have." "How long ago?" "It's there." His beak clicked. "We will not be going west, even close to that border." Felicity looked to Quinn for support. "There was no bridge." Quinn leaned forward in his chair, fingers entwined. "West is Howler territory. We've already suffered one conflict. We needn't cause another. You, Felicity, were exceedingly lucky. But this is an expedition. A group of that size crossing that border. No, Salazar is quite right. Going west is too great a risk. We'll find another way." Salazar gave a nod to Quinn. "Very good. I shall decide our course and submit them before the next meeting." The maps were folded and taken by the winged watchers. After that, Salazar shared secret words with Quinn while Felicity sulked in the corner, paw to cheek, rolling one of the metal instruments across the table. The nature of the instrument was curious, but with no ideas as to its utility, she began to feel ashamed, conscious of how little she knew. And then she felt unworthy, pushing it away. When Salazar finally took his leave, she slumped forward, arms across her nose. "Felicity," Quinn began. "There was no bridge," she said again. "I'm smarter than he thinks." "Well, of course you are. He just doesn't know you." He sat beside her. "But the Watchers scouted that land long ago. Where do you think those maps came from? Believe it or not, they know the territory better than you. But that was long ago. You knew nothing of my culture before me. Don't you think it's possible your maps are out of date? It's possible. It's also possible you missed a thing or two on your way north. We must go with a sensible course first. My way is the only way. Your way is risky, Felicity. And you're right. And if you're right, we'll have a contingency. But if that means going by your lead, then you will lead, and they will follow. But we mustn't take any undue risks." She met his eyes. "So, I'm expected to go north?" So, I'm expected to go." He hesitated. "Nobody will force you." But it's expected, yes. I see. Her mind ticked. You called them howlers, those to the west. On account of their madness, yes. That's our name for them. Why? What do you call them? I will leave it there. So, is there another character you would like to see a little snip of? Let's see here. Winifred. I think I can do some Winnie the Fred. Yes, okay. A little Winifred extract, shall we say? These are non-spoilery. They might refer to things that you will find curious, like, oh, what are they talking about? But it won't spoil anything. Read the book! Right. Hayden spoke brazenly in court, said Winifred, breaking the silence that had formed across the room like glass. Wexel paused in the careful scratching of her notes. He takes these matters seriously. Do you agree with him? Dark eyes were cast to the details of the chamber, the fluffy white carpet, the stone-grey patterns carved across the wall, the silver light that dripped like weeds. Above, lanterns of incense swayed from muted chain, spreading wisps of soothing smoke down to meet their nostrils. In the bookcases, both on their floor and one above, accessible by a single metal ladder, were trinkets of all kinds. The ceiling was painted with eyes. Wexel breathed deep of this place, allowing her gaze to rest on Winifred's regal face. Yes and no, she answered. When Winifred nodded, there came a wink of light from her golden antlers. Good. He spoke wisely and foolishly. Which parts were foolish? You tell me. Wexel scratched her smooth grey chest. Raising a fist to trade is a dangerous game. It is the city's backbone. Without it, we fold. Roger was right in that regard. The slightest smile cracked Winifred's face. Indeed. And then it vanished. I trust you will keep Hayden in line. He is my finest general. All well and good, but you must control him, Wexel. Let no one speak for you, even those you trust. You are voice of the Yosh, not he. Wexel stood, shrugging. He had every right to speak, and what he said was brought to me first. He didn't go over my head, if that's your concern. Winifred snorted, then turned the page in a thick document, splayed across the table before her. I can't say the next line, because that is a spoiler, so we'll have to leave it there. Anyone else you'd like to take a look at? Anybody else? Bear in mind, I've only written like the first 4 chapters, so we are somewhat limited by who we can visit. Celia, Ludwig, and Gatsby. Dalton. Okay, well let's do Ludwig. Let's do Ludwig. I've got a good one. This'll tease people. Alright. The soft and pale hands of Fowlerhood were gone, replaced with the coarse grip of a sailor, marked with the pattern of rope. Despite his leg, Ludwig was of great utility, more even than some of the deckhands. He had studied the art, but now his body could fully perform. Little by little, respect was earned. Presently they were sailing smoothly through a wide canal with large and ancient buildings peppering the bank at either side. At a glance, they seemed abandoned, like temples of old, but upon closer inspection, Ludwig spied figures rendered tiny by the distance, strolling in and out. Above was a stone ceiling so tall and grand it had a dizzying effect on the eyes. Once through, the boat came into the widest reservoir he had seen thus far. It sprawled before him like a lake of black glass. The air turned bitter cold, and in the distance, far, far away, was a blur of lights. "Bloody heck, lad," said the skipper, slapping him hard on the back. "If I knew you worked like this, I'd have taken you on for nought." "Thank you, sir. I was born on a boat." "You don't say. Well, you've earned this." Ludwig smiled as a handsome cut of bread was placed into his hands. "Thank you, sir. I'll finish it quickly. We don't eat too fancy on the cleaver, but—" a bottle of gin was produced from the skipper's pocket. "It might go down easier with this." "It will at that. Take your time. It's smooth sailing till Rose." "Rose?" "Riverdam Rose, you know, named by Rom or some such authority." Ludwig bowed his head. "Well, thank you, sir." Yes, off you go." Ludwig took himself to the stern, sitting at the very edge where one could drop one's feet right into the foaming water. He sat cross-legged with food and drink in lap. Lifting the bread to dark, dry lips, the first bite was sensational. It was the first he had eaten since the grotto. It was only now that he realized how terribly starved he had become, feeling the food settle in his stomach almost burned, but in a good way. Next came the drink, which was cold and bitter but warming. As the bread shrank away, his craving grew. Having now been reacquainted with the concept of food, he recalled also the torture of want. And when all was gone, with nothing left but a rag and an empty bottle, he desired nothing more than to simply forget all over again these fleeting pleasures. Right. We'll have a look at Celia. I could read a bit of Heisen and Patch's mayhaps, but I don't know.
I'd say, personally, because of some people who don't know who they are,
Yeah.
I would say that. Just because if someone doesn't know who they are,
Well, if they don't know who they are, then it will mean nothing to them. But that doesn't matter. They'll have to find, as long as it doesn't spoil anything. That's the thing. No, it's yeah, I agree. It's a bit too much. Celia, I think, could be okay. We could find an extract with her. But again, Celia's very plot heavy in her parts here, so I need to try and find some form of extract. Shit. Oh, yeah. I think maybe. Maybe. If I see something, I'll stop myself, alright? Okay? But I might not be able to read much. I'm just saying. But out of context, it's fine. So we'll do a bit of Celia. Things had become complicated. Wherever Celia prowled, in darkness or in light, the eyes were watching. And this was complicated due to the fact that she never knew which were real and which were imagined. Before, when there was only darkness, the eyes were simply the others. They played their tricks, whispered in her ear, changed her world. But it was her world they changed and nothing else. Now, since the papers, since the gala, everything was different. Dragged into light she was, kicking and screaming. Every face she met was real and false. Unbidden, her mind tampered with words, expressions, information. It was getting worse. Still, she clenched her jaw and saw it through as ever she had. Celia was standing at the edge of the upper sorry. Fuck's sake. Celia was standing at the edge of the upper Lovart Market Square, a wide space hosting hundreds of travelling trades. Hedging the square were tall and lavish buildings ranging from chop shops to tailors, jewellers to dollhouses. Dollhouses. Before her was an old laugh house of some renown, its drinks a local legend. Outside the building was a wide area of seating with small fires lit to keep the clients warm. To Celia and all, the smell was intoxicating. Gazing up at her was a soft female face with wide eyes and a hoggish nose. Her voice was smooth and kind. "So, you know the place?" Celia smiled sweetly. "I know it," she said. "Been there a few times." The minstrel nodded her porcine face. "And the black phase won't bother you?" "I can work through the black, no problem. I'll watch the place get the layout. Don't worry, hun, I'll be in and out. Who's the fella I'm looking for?" There came a pig-like snort. "Tommy Winch. And don't like him much, huh?" "I supply a line of drinks to his dollhouse clients, and only his clients. See, that's written in the contract. No reselling, no scalping, none of it. Only I've heard talk of my brand reaching the likes of Brandyway. It has to be Tommy. He's no good." Celia placed her hands in the pockets of her gala dress. "Well, I'll be sure to find out. There'll be a paper trail. Always is. Failing that, I'll squeeze some witnesses." The minstrel's face relaxed, but not entirely. "And this has to be covert. If Tommy finds out I've hired a blackhole, it'll be bad for business, especially if he turns out to be innocent in all this. I just want to make sure, you understand? Leave it to me. I've been at this a long time." "Of course. I've read up on you. Heard you're the best." I'm all right." Celia flicked her ears up at the sound of a gathering crowd far behind her. "And there I will have to leave it." Right. Okay, one more. We'll do one more character that you want to have a little peek at, alright? From the second book. Notice the sheer quality of writing and language. Alright, come on. One more, and then I'll just answer a few questions. Greta, of course. It has to be Greta. Has to be, because that was donated. What was that, Colin?
I just said.
Alright, okay. Okay, right. Oh, fuck. Maybe a bit of Lucy. Shit. Okay, we'll do Greta, then Lucy, and then we'll leave it there, okay? Yeah? We fine? We good with that? Yeah? I would love to see August view paintable miniatures and figures to come out. I would love to do a chessboard, you know? But yeah.
Need to use our 3D printer.
I know. Let me find a good Greta part. Oh. Fuck. Shit. I don't know about Greta. Oh, fuck. Greta's one of those characters who's like shrouded in mystery, and any reference to her in the second book just has stuff like that. Is there any scene that isn't spoilery. I don't think so. I can't. Sorry, no. Greta's. I'm scrolling through it. Greta's like she's in too deep with like a plot line at the moment. Maybe Lucy. I'll have a look. Okay. Shall we end with a bit of Lucy? Shall we see how Lucy's getting on? Bear in mind, those of you who have not read the first book, you will not know what the fuck is happening, but that doesn't matter. It's not spoilery, it's just, you know, you'll need to read the book to find out. We might find someone else in the place of maybe Dalton. Oh no, Dalton's another one who's like, oh, tell you what, I know. Before we do Lucy, if you want a bit of Dalton, how about some Elmira and Dalton? Yeah? It's a short bit, because this is the bit I'm literally writing now. Yeah? How's that? I think that's fine. This is literally the bit I'm writing today. Do you want to read the section that I'm writing literally today?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't heard it.
You silly Carmen. Okay. Right. Okay. Elmira's eyes were dry and dull. The last ship was on its way, and she watched the back of it through flickering lids. A bell rang out, and Port 40 was closed. In both directions the local crew dispersed, seeking the warmth of their cosy dens. But for Elmira, only the job lay ahead. Followed by her 3 colleagues, their names somewhere in the back of her mind, she strode down the length of the dam. Port 30, Port 29, Port 28. Though some were closed, others in mid-rotation, most were still open, with Yolsh overseeing every transaction. Port 19, Port 18, Port 17. Every step was a chore, a pain, yet still she was tall and proud. None could see it, the gnawing exhaustion. Port 8, Port 7, Port 6. Even her voice was full of its usual spunk, and though it hurt to speak, shouting over the bells and the horns and the whistles and the waves had taken its toll. Port 3, Port 2, Port 1. And at last she came to a stop before her general, reading the same pains across his face. "Elmira, report," said Dalton. "Sir," said Elmira, "we oversaw the operations at Port 40. Everything was checked, the documents, the crew. Nothing." "Same here," called Ripper, coming to a stop beside her. "No sign of 'em, sir." Dalton snarled like a dog. "No leads, no sightings, no bodies. They can't have just disappeared." He turned toward a long table piled with various items and articles of dress. Some contraband and lost junk. I want it looked at. See what we missed." Elmira raised her chin. "Yes, sir," she chirped. Ripper bit his lip. "Aye, sir," is all he said. Dalton nodded and turned to address his other officers. The table, to Elmira, was a mountain, large and inconquerable. With no argument she strode to the far end, darting her gaze between the items. Rings, buttons, hats, spectacles, piercings, various breeds of necktie and flutterlace. And all she needed was one little thing, a familiar necktie. A familiar necklace. Why did I say necktie? A familiar necklace, a staff of bones, a yellow hat. So, Right. And then we'll close with Lucy. Yeah? Satisfied? You fucking satisfied with that? Yeah? Boy. Jesus Christ. 40,000 words so far. Not bad. Not fucking bad. Thank you, Carbon. Where's my ergo? Oh, Gatsby. Do I have any of Gatsby that aren't spoilery?
Would you have to replace things?
Maybe. Let me just check here. Oh, hang on. I might have something from Gatsby. Oh, fuck. Give me a second, guys. I know a part. Page break. Fuck. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll try this. I'll try this. It's fine. Let me just read it. Fuck it. Alright, let's just go with this. "Don't be so defeatist, Greta, my darling," said the voice of Fontaine, who had set the controls and was now descending the steps in a spray of rain. "There are more of us than Our Lady thinks." Greta stood. "A pack of washed-up cartels can't do anything. The trade cartels were the true power in this city. At the height of that power, not even Lockett could stop them. That was long ago, Gatsby." With cold, beady eyes, he glared at her. "Fontaine." Greta sighed. "Fontaine. That was long ago. A dying light is not dead, Greta." From the haze, Basil and Teaser appeared, Teaser having perked up considerably. "We checked the waters and the skies," she said. "No sign of the Yolch." Fontaine turned. "Nothing? Not even that female?" "She'll have fetched the cord. She'll have fetched her cord," said Basil. "They'll be following." "They can't track us through water," said Greta, her voice betraying a deep-set exhaustion. "What are they likely to do?" Fontaine was shaking his head. "They know we're going west, and that's enough." She raised her brow. "Is it?" "Remind me," he began. "Where did you grow up?" "Ark Bridge. A Hamerlow town, correct?" "It is." Fontaine gestured down to Ludwig, who was still sitting. "You, laddie?" Ludwig shrugged. "You already know. Born on a ship." "And you sailed these waters?" "I did." "Then you can tell us. What is west?" Ludwig looked ahead of them, pointing. "West is the Renault Passage. It leads to the river dams. They are checkpoints of a kind. You can't get through to the inner side without meeting one. Not with a boat like this. Ludwig looked hard at Greta, his yellow eyes cutting through the thinning fog. The Yosh don't need to track us. They know where we're going. Basil hit his fist to the rail. We should have abandoned this bucket long ago. Aye, said Teaser. And what would be the point? Fontaine said, raising all 6 arms. Our names are written in death. We are hunted. There is no life for us back there, anywhere. No, we must reach the Tessia Reservoir. We must bring the cartels into the fold. We must fight. And I'll leave it there. And we'll close with Lucy. Right? Right then. Righty-tighty. Righty-tighty spicy. Okay. Are we settled then? We're gonna close out on a bit of Lucy. Yeah? Satisfied? Buy the first book. Get it. Everyone watching right now. Ebook. Hardback. Paperback. The first edition will only be available for maybe another month. Hey! You don't believe me? Read the reviews. Read the fucking reviews. Right. The glass was polished to a mirror, and in the reflection was the face of Lucy Lacemaker. In the window was an array of headless bodies, posed for display, each adorned with an elaborate garment. It was perhaps the least humiliating fate in her world, but still they were naught but pretty little objects, utterly owned, utterly obedient. Lucy was eyeing the body of a tall, lean, beautiful female. Around the waist was a dark red dress, and above was a tight lock brace of the very same shade. Spread across the bosom was a necklace of red gemstones, dotting the white skin like spots of sparkling blood. Lucy pulled her focus back, seeing herself in the reflection, tired and weather-beaten. With a sigh, she removed her hat, letting matted silver hair fall past her shoulders. Then, with a glance to the beautiful body, she moved down the street, following the scent of soap and water. The street was slanting down, spiralling like a helter-skelter, taking Lucy into the underlayer of love art. Above, the town was glazed in a thin blanket of frost, but below was notably colder. Lacemaker pulled her coat together, cloaking her bared stomach. She could feel the contents of her pocket pressing up against her ribs, various papers and, of course, the curious device that had once belonged to Greta. Even now, Lucy was fighting the urge to look at it, battling the desire to flip open the lid and glimpse again those dancing colours. But she kept her urges in check. The bathhouse was drawing near. Upon turning left, Lucy beheld a Winnewardian building of smooth white stone and coloured glass. It shone like a great cathedral, with elaborate flying buttresses along the sides and carven statues of elegant Dowser folk. The doors alone were over 100 feet high, but layered within were smaller doors, the smallest being 5 feet. Standing at just over 3 feet, Lucy pressed her shaking hand up against the cold stone and pushed. Once inside, she rubbed her arms rapidly, trying to rekindle any kind of heat. Before her was a grand lobby of various stones, more colourful than the outside. Directly ahead was a long stone desk sitting a single Dowser male, though his shape was something more akin to a furless wolf. Given his shape, he was more alike to a prowler. Given his shape, which was more alike to a prowler, Lucy began to wonder if he was a Dowser, but the gills, slashing his neck, and the pretty thin tail laid all doubts to rest. "Excuse me," said Lucy, placing her hat upon the desk, meeting his beautiful red eyes through her tattered fringe. "Are you the maiden?" The male looked her up and down. "Yes. Are you lost?" "Nah. This is Pelushka Bathhouse, innit?" "It is." He tapped the desk. "EIP?" "I'm new in town." "I see. Well, what did you bring to trade?" Lucy shifted, avoiding his eyes. "Ah. Well, I got my clothes. The maiden didn't even look. Barely anything left of them. Worthless. Are you playing a game, girl? Do you know what place this is? Do you know what this place is? He looked past him to a set of frosted glass doors. Behind them was the smell of minted steam. Water? Soap? Yeah, I think I'm in the right place. She pulled open her coat, showing him much of her greasy body. Just look at me. The maiden smacked his lips. I am sorry, miss. No trade. Lucy brushed down the coat with the back of her hand. Most of the fabric is still good. She pushed out her chest, presenting the collar of the lock brace. And just look at the metalwork. As soon as these words left her mouth, 3 of the silver links burst open and fell to the floor, rattling like coins. Bit of a fixer. What about that? She looked around. What? The maiden pointed to a glinting chain hanging from the inside pocket of her coat, the fine fabric betraying a curious shape. There. What is it? When Lucy realized that he was pointing to Greta's device, she pulled her coat together, hiding it from view. I can't. Then I'm sorry, little miss, but you'll have to find it. You'll have to find a channel. It's the Jambalaya. I'll freeze. Some are heated in the lower layers. I wouldn't know where to start. I need soap. She pointed at him. You don't have fur, you can only imagine. When Lucy saw the maiden staring at her, utterly unimpressed, she took a deep breath and gripped his desk. Please, spot me this favour. Spot me this favour. I'll pay you back, you have my word. I'm sorry, miss, but I don't know you, said the maiden. The maiden said, I'm up on Hallow Street, Janala's place. Impossible. Janala fell drunk from a bridge. No, I'm taking over. I'm the new owner. The maiden scoffed. Last I heard, Thalius was taking it. How do I know any of this is even true? You could be spinning a tall tale. You're from out of town, yes? So let's say I buy your story, give you access to my facilities. Then you scarper. What am I to do? Haven't slept since the gala. Now I'm being called a liar, Lucy thought to herself. What a life! She produced an indignant grunt and reached into her pocket, feeling for the papers. Here, she said, slapping them down onto the desk. It's all in order, all signed. You know where to find me. Heard of anyone skipping town because of a bath? I suppose it would be rather silly, said the maiden, bending his neck to read the papers. When finished, his face was changed. This is... Hold on a tick. He looked at her. And that's a spoiler. I cannot read that. And there we go. I apologise. Right, okay, there we go. So you've been tantalised with this, with extracts of the second book. For those of you who haven't read the first, none of that was particularly spoilery. You know, but read the first book, right?
And if you want to hear more of the first 2 chapters of the second book...
Oh yeah, that Lucy bit, that was from chapter 2. I have read the first 2 full chapters of the second book in a live stream, the link of which is in my Discord, which can be accessed with the Amygdalite roll. The Amygdalite roll is for people who have read the first book. Do not get the roll if you haven't read the first.
You can, but if you get spoiled...
It's your fault.
Yeah.
Read the first book. Right? The you know... You will be blown away, I promise. You know? It's the like of which you have never seen. Alright? It's a big book, it's a big fucker, it's 3 times the length of the average book. You know? So yeah, it is kind of 3 times the price. But you get your money's worth. Fully illustrated, colour illustrations, second edition coming out. Should be a bit cheaper. You know, we'll see what we can do with that. Audiobook coming out as well. you know, fuck. So before we close out the stream, any other questions? Does anyone have any questions you would like to ask? And by the way, Patreon, link in the description. Behind the scenes stuff, how I make my videos, bits and bobs. We're going to have a breakdown of how the Harlow, the new Harlow illustration was made tomorrow, or over the weekend at the very least, because we're having a guest over, but definitely over the weekend. Should be tomorrow.
We can record the audio and like.
Yes. You know, see, there you go. Worth every penny, someone said. Lady Lemon. There you go. And the second book is... The first book is 28 chapters. The second book is 38. It is longer by about 30%. Right? So it's going to be a big fucker. Right? The audiobook will be second edition. So the audiobook will include all the new parts. Don't worry. The ebooks will also be updated, so you won't need to buy those again. But if you want the first edition of the physical copy, listen guys, right? 6-book series, the August View. I'm going to be writing it over the next 10 years. This will be mainstream. It will hit the mainstream. It's inevitable, right? It is inevitable. If you buy this book now for, you know, $50 or whatever the fuck it is, in a few years' time, you never know. You never know. You might be on a, you know, a little fucking... You might think, oh man, I wish I had like $5 million. I could sell my copy. Sean, drink tea, sleep well, have a good life. Thank you. Why do you say like I'm gonna die?
Oh no! Don't die, Sam.
Please no. ETA on the second edition should be next month.
I have to finish 2 illustrations.
Yes, we are just getting through the last 2 new illustrations of the second edition, and you know it will be ready.
I'll work on those after I finish the line art.
We need to get those sent over the weekend if we can.
This weekend?
If we can, yeah, because
That's impossible. I'm not gonna be able to finish them by this weekend.
well, fuck.
I can finish them by next week.
When next week?
Like mid next week, but this weekend I haven't even started on the other illustration. I still gotta do the Constantine.
Right.
Because this week.
I'll need to tell him to extend it again then.
But you said by the end of the month. It's not gonna be the end of the month this weekend.
The end of the month is next week.
Yeah, but this weekend I can't finish them. Because when Jade's gonna be over.
Yeah, but this month ends on the 29th.
Yeah.
Alright, if you think you'll have them done in
Sam,
time.
You were saying like this weekend. It's like that's 2 days. I can't finish them.
They were
in 2
supposed to be
days.
done by this week.
I have a lot of stuff.
I know, but like, you know, I need to email the typesetter and keep extending the deadline.
But I can finish them by the end of the month.
Alright, as long as it's done by the end of the month, then
Yeah, it's just I can't finish them by the weekend because I got work.
alright, as long as you're sure, I'll leave it to you. So anyway, yeah, next month, we just need to get the fucking last few illustrations done, and we'll be fine. Alright? Right. So, any more questions before I close? I think that's about it, right? I would say so. The names of the other books. I mean, I've only got working titles. The second book is called Wanderlust. Spelt with an O. Wanderlust. And then the others, you know, I have working titles, and then usually I finalize the name in the writing when I really get a feel for what it is. But the working titles are, you got Amygdala, you've got Wanderlust, those two are set. And then working titles, you've got the third book, The Glittering Gaps. Fourth book, working title, A Blood Red Void. Fifth book, working title, The Satellite City. Sixth book, working title, The Lady and the Traveller. Right? But those titles will probably change as I write them, because, you know, I'll decide on something, you know. Right. That about does it. Does the first book have Lucy meeting Celia? Yes. Yes, it does. If you want to see Lucy meet Celia and all that other stuff, you will not believe what is in this book. Where it goes. Right? I'm going to make you the Fenner promise. Right? When you start reading this book, you're going to be thinking, oh, it's like a fantasy book. And then when you get halfway through, you're going to start realizing, holy shit, this is kind of deep. This has got a lot of stuff in it I haven't thought about. And then by the end, you're going to be like, fuck me. Holy shit, that's a lot. I need to think about this. I need to like go on a walk. Right? Don't believe me? Read the fucking reviews. That's what they all say. It's true.
Clip of Gandhi from Clone High. It's like, I really need to think about this. And
Yeah.
Out a window.
You're gonna be Gandhi from Clone High. Oh, it's Nix. No questions from me tonight. Thanks for the stream and get well soon. Thank you, Nix. I will. I shall. Shall indeed. Anyway, you know, I guarantee. I can guarantee that when you get to the halfway point of the book, there will be. I even know what chapter it is. I even know the exact fucking chapter, right? Okay? Chapter 15. Right? And the people who have read the book will know. And you'll be reading it and you'll just go, fuck. So that's what this book is about. You know? And then 16 and 17 and towards the end of the book you're like, damn, they're actually going to talk about this. And they're giving me, the reader, the freedom to think about it without telling me who's right or wrong. Oh my god! Oh my god! So yeah, buy the fucking book. Do you want to know why you should respect the book? Because it respects you. It respects your intelligence. Do it. Do it! Alright. Bye, guys. See you around. How do I end the stream? Shit, wrong button. Oh, that's not right. Hang on a minute. No, that's a mistake.